It's another snow-filled weekend here in North Carolina. Folks woke up to sheets of white this morning. Good evening, I'm Amber Lake. Record snowfall across our state has buried your yards, the roads. This is a look at High Point. Take a look at all the snow that's going to be covering the area right now. We're waiting for that video to pull up. The freezing temperatures are leaving behind ice on the roads this afternoon. Beware of the ice like what is hanging from your home, maybe if you're planning to leave the house. As always, the WFMY News 2 crew has got you covered when it comes to severe weather. We're bringing you team coverage from across the Piedmont Triad this afternoon. Let's start with meteorologist Alex Williams. He's got the latest forecast.
Storm. It was a historic one for the record books. In fact, top 10 as far as the records go. You know who's enjoying this type of snow? Yeah, Beach Mountain Resort. That is for sure. And believe it or not, several places across the Triad made a lot more in the way of snow, or received a lot more in the way of snow, I should say, than the resort. Crazy to think about that. Burlington is 30 degrees right now. Notice this northwest wind at 18 makes it feel like 18 degrees outside. So it is definitely a very chilly one out there. Make sure you're bundled up, lots and lots of layers, as we're going to continue to feel those very cold temperatures, teens, 20s, and we'll have more on what to expect in the coming days in just a bit. So, yeah, we will definitely be tracking the cold temperatures. That's what's still on the record. You can see a lot of these snowfall totals. Let me step over here so you can actually see them, right? A lot of us well over a foot of snowfall. That is just absolutely hard to believe. Yet that's what we did achieve, perfectly placed between two areas of low pressure. And that puts us at number 6 in the record books. So will you remember the storm of January 31st, 2026, the last day of January? Yeah, I'll remember it for probably the rest of my life. Quite the impressive system. And for not just us, but most of the Carolinas, including the coast. We're talking, if you look at the time lapse here, some tidal flooding. Unfortunately, full moon also kind of coincided with the strength of this storm. So there was some tidal flooding that North Carolina Highway 12 had to deal with. Nothing they haven't dealt with before. Crews, of course, working hard to get everything restored there. So we are still under a weather impact alert through our Monday morning because it is going to be dangerously cold both today and into the day tomorrow. Bitterly cold wind chills close to 0 is expected. And of course, those road conditions, well, they're not going to be getting any better anytime soon. We're going to be seeing those snowy roads. I will say primary roads are pretty good. You could hit a slushy patch though, so make sure you're slowing it down and being advised and kind of watchful for those areas of slush that are still around. You want to avoid that snowy travel unless absolutely necessary and stay warm. Because of the impacts to travel, we're still under winter weather advisories through the 10 o'clock hour tomorrow. And then on top of that, because of how cold it is and we got a little bit of a breeze, yeah, the wind chill values are going to fall into those single digits once again overnight. So we're talking cold weather advisories. Extreme cold warning, interesting to note, that's because they're close to 0. So again, different offices have different warning criteria. And it's going to be a cold one for the beaches for sure, especially with all of that snow, close to 18 inches of snowfall for parts of the Carolinas. Just hard to believe. So Futurecast, again, staying pretty quiet as we go through our Monday and beyond, really into our Tuesday, also seeing lots of sunshine. This is good. Temperatures warming above freezing. And so that's going to help us to melt off some of that snow. But remember, at night, as we fall back below freezing, we'll see that melting, refreezing cycle. Oh, and by the way, as we head in from our Tuesday into our Wednesday, or Wednesday into Thursday, watching another batch of precipitation that'll be moving in. That looks primarily rain. I don't think we're going to necessarily see any more winter impacts, at least from this system, over the next couple of days. But yeah, those temperatures in the upper 30s, and that definitely looks more like rain than anything wintry, which is good news. Because we all could take a little bit of a break from the winter weather for a while. Of course, myself and the weather team included. We'll continue to break down that forecast for you in just a few minutes.
Alex, thank you. Yes, I will definitely remember the snowstorm of 2026. Lots of viewers have sent in pictures and videos of their pets enjoying the snowfall the past couple days. We were told Beethoven right here insisted on walking that extra long walk to bask in the snow. Of course, it's not just pets enjoying the snow. This father and son in Archdale are having a little bit of fun, tossing it right up into the air. Be sure to send us your snow pictures. We would love to see them. This morning, Governor Josh Stein addressed the state about public safety concerns following the snowfall. Officials said crews have responded to about 1,000 crashes and unfortunately 2 deaths. His main message to everyone was stay home if you can. Take a listen.
Our key message today is to stay off the roads. That way you'll allow the road crews and law enforcement to focus on their essential tasks to keep us all safe. DOT has 2,500 people out working overtime to try to clear as much snow today as they can. But our fear is that with temperatures staying below freezing today and much of tomorrow, many roads will be bad in many places across the state for days to come. We have a lot of miles of road in North Carolina, so it's going to take some time. And we're asking for your patience as our teams work around the clock to clear the roads. In addition, black ice is going to remain a risk throughout the week because of below freezing nighttime temperatures. For your own safety and for the safety of the people clearing the roads, please stay at home if you possibly can.
Throughout the storm, the biggest advice has been to stay off the roads, of course. That hasn't changed. State Highway Patrol tells us in the past 24 hours it responded to more than 1,000 car crashes. It received 1,600 calls for service. Unfortunately, 2 of those crashes were deadly. Those were in Robeson and Rutherford counties. The roads are still slick in some areas this afternoon. Even driving into work today, I saw a lot of problematic areas. Here in Greensboro, the city has crews working around the clock to clear the roads. For those of you who must travel in this, the city shared in the last 12 hours that crews have been replowing Priority 1 roads since yesterday morning. They'll continue to plow and treat those roads today and plan to get to Priority 2 roads sometime this evening. They say Priority 3 will follow the completion of Priority 2. A couple of school districts have already made the decision to cancel classes or go remote tomorrow. Those districts are Guilford County, Randolph, Rockingham, Stokes, Winston-Salem, Forsyth County, Mount Airy City, and Alamance Burlington. Last week, most districts went remote for the whole week, while some canceled classes altogether for a few days. The state only permits a certain number of remote learning days or days off for each district throughout the school year. Let's take a look at the current power outages in our area. Triad Electric reported a couple dozen outages through those counties this morning. Here in the Triad, looking pretty much all clear, but also the state says thousands of people have reported outages. Duke Energy is asking its customers to cut back on energy use tomorrow morning between 4 and 10 a.m. Its power supplies are limited due to cold temperatures, so Duke Energy is asking that you set your thermostat to the lowest comfortable setting and then layer up with a ton of clothes. Avoid any unnecessary power use. This is supposed to help deter power outages. The low temps have people cranking the heat up this afternoon. Over in Burlington, folks saw record snowfall into the double digits. That's where we find WFMY News 2's Bryce Parker. Bryce, you were there in Burlington yesterday. You're there right now. What are we seeing right now?
So it seems like complete night and day from last night and today. So last night we saw a lot of snowfall, a lot of wind. It seemed like there was hardly any visibility. However, the sun has now come out and it stopped snowing. And then the biggest question is, what do these roads look like here in Alamance County? Now we're going to pan to the left to show you a night and day juxtaposition. This road right here, Alamance Road, right before you get onto the on-ramp of I-40 going east or west or towards 85. Look at these roads. They seem to be completely clear to try to get these roads clear, but this is a priority road. We're gonna pan over to the left. This is not a priority road to your left. Right here, going to a parking lot of the old K&W. This is what a lot of these side streets are looking like. A lot of these parking lots are looking like here in Alamance County. Have not been hit yet. Still a lot of snow on there on top of the ice that accumulated last weekend during that ice storm that we had. So, depending on where you are, really depends on what your roads are gonna look like. Yesterday, the city of Burlington said that they had already used over 150 tons of salt. Yes, 150 tons. So they are trying to get to these roads. They're going to continue these operations throughout the day. In the background, you can see that there are people out here enjoying the weather. They're enjoying the snow. They're starting to sled, have snowball fights, and even build snowmen. Reporting live in Burlington, Bryce Parker, WFMY News 2.
Bryce, before you go, I have one question for you. I know, when I was bebopping around Greensboro yesterday, Christina was in Alamance County. There were so many businesses that were not open. Are you seeing any businesses that are open today? And if so, what are those parking lots looking like?
So we haven't seen too many businesses open here in Alamance County. You know, maybe a little, things like McDonald's or any other takeout restaurants, like maybe a Domino's or anything like that. So you can probably get some fast foods. We do know that Walmart is open, so you can get things like that. But again, these niche kind of stores and parking lots, mom and pop stores, a lot of them are probably not open because these parking lots are not in the shape that they need to be. We just showed you where the old K&W cafeteria was here in Burlington. That parking lot completely covered because people are taking advantage of that covered parking lot with these snowstorms. So try to stay home if you don't be on these side roads if you can, but also enjoy the weather.
Bryce, thank you so much, and make sure that you are staying safe out there as well. The snow is putting a damper on a lot of plans today. The clash at Bowman Gray Stadium was originally scheduled for today, but is now pushed all the way to Wednesday. That's where we find WFMY News 2's Logan Campbell in Winston-Salem right now. Logan, racing fans are still holding out for the clash.
Well, they're going to have to wait a few more days because the clash is now postponed until Wednesday at 6 p.m. We actually just got off of a Zoom with Justin Swilling, the project manager for the clash. He said that this was not an easy decision, but after meeting with NASCAR officials, state officials, and the city of Winston-Salem, they all agreed that this was the best decision moving forward, not only for the drivers who are making the trip up from Charlotte for the race, but also fans. I want to show you what the track looks like. The track looks amazing, Amber. It is clear. The infield is clear. There is no snow. It is dry. And this was not work that was done this morning. They were at work all night. They had 40 dump trucks filled with snow to make it look like this. They had 3 jet dryers out on the track. And as you can see, there's people blowing off the snow, making sure that the stands are clear. But it's not inside Bowman Gray Stadium that's the problem. It's the side streets that are the problem. MLK Drive, one of the main roads to get to Bowman Gray Stadium, was not clear at all. It was ice. There was slush everywhere. We even took a trip, checked out some of the neighborhoods around here. Those were not plowed at all, Amber. So out of an abundance of caution, they decided that it was best to postpone the race until Wednesday. They were asked if this was the last time that they were going to postpone it. Justin Swilling said, "We are just trying to take this day by day and hour by hour." They are hopeful to get the race in this week.
Logan, thank you. Yeah, it's probably the best bet to postpone it with those back roads looking like how they are. We'll keep you updated at home if you're just getting back out and about today or tomorrow, to clear the windshield and wipe the snow from the hood and the top of the car. But there's something else that you should check before hitting the streets.
Most winter driving dangers are easy to spot on the roads: ice, snow, slush. But Justin ran into one you can't see.
Stopped here because I knew they would be open and they have free air.
He was back out after the storm.
Get little snacks for my girlfriend and whatnot.
When a warning light caught his attention. Cold weather can drain tire pressure fast.
When it gets cold, the rubber in your tire and the metal in your rim, they contract at different paces.
You can expect to lose about 1 or 2 psi for every 10 degrees that it drops outside. So making sure you stay on top of the tire pressure is extremely important.
Every year, about 600 people are killed and more than 33,000 others injured in crashes linked to underinflated tires.
It is a very, very bad idea to drive anywhere on a tire with too low air. You leave yourself open to the possibility of a blowout or other tire damage.
You might have also heard this advice. Letting air out of your tires can help with traction on icy roads.
If you lower the pressure, then the traction will be improved a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit, because the contact of the tire, the surface of the tire will contact more with the surface of the terrain.
But experts say it doesn't work where rubber meets the road.
It's not recommended for asphalt roads or concrete.